Well, all right. Settling in. I'm settling in with a nice glass here of Macallan 12-year Highland Scotch whiskey. Highly recommended. That's from our sponsor. No, I wish it was from our sponsor, but no, it's not. I'm not sponsored by whiskey. I wish I was. If anyone's got a nice whiskey company out there and they want to sponsor me and my slurred speech videos, feel free. But no. Nevertheless, let's take a look. You might have seen that I just published a bit of a compilation, cut together video of some state propaganda juxtaposed with real life stories of people who are suffering under lockdowns. But the propaganda pissed me off enough, and it's so blatant and such a brazen form of lying and bullshit that I wanted to talk about it separately. So let's take a look at the full clip. This here is the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. So this is the public media outlet, the public funded, taxpayer funded public media outlet, and this is what they had to say about people responding to government lockdowns.
Hello, I'm Sammy. Can you guess who I'm being today? Let's see, I've got my bandana, my cranky shirt, and I've just ironically set back the cause I'm fighting for by another 2 weeks. That's right, I'm being an anti-lockdown protester. Do you want to join me? Now, I hate lockdowns and I don't want to have them anymore. So how do I get my message across? I could call my friends and have a little chat to try to change their minds using my powers of persuasion. Or I could start a riot. We know a song about that. Come on, sing along. These lockdowns have got to stop. E-I-E-I-O. I'm so cross I punched a cop. E-I-E-I-O. With a punch here and a punch there. Here a punch, there a punch, everywhere a punch. Whoops, I undermined my cause. E-I-E-I-O. That was fun. Okay, I think we need to work on our banners now. Remember, there might be lots of people at the protest, so your banner needs to stand out. If you need to go to the shops to buy materials, just go and get them. I know you're not meant to go to the shops, but don't worry. Everyone else is doing the hard work for you by staying home, and you're special. And make sure you've got your pen licence. You don't want to break the law. Now, I've already made my sign. The science is wrong. See the little needle there with blood coming out of it? Oh dear, I've misspelled science. How do you spell science? Is it I before E or E before I? No, it's I before you. It's me before everybody. Hang on, let's just ignore the science and use emotions instead. We need something that'll really scare the government. I know. The next election. That's terrifying. Wait, I know something even scarier. The parliamentary bar will no longer serve alcohol at lunchtime. This will really get their attention. Okay, now we have our banner. It's time to march. And I think we know a song about that too. The angry men are marching here, hurrah, hurrah. We've brought along our marching gear, hurrah, hurrah. But now we're here, it's not too clear who's in charge, we've no idea. If only there was someone to tell us what to do. Whew, this is exhausting. Can you smell capsicum? Now, I hope you've got your running shoes on because there's one step left when you protest. And that's racing home, finding a computer and deleting all your social media profiles so you don't become the face of an alt-right movement on the news. Oh, hang on. There's an article about how non-binary unicorns give you 5G. First, I'm going to share it, then I'm going to read it. Bye-bye. Beep, boop. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
Right, so that's the public broadcaster using public money. That's what they're up to with your tax dollars, is shitting on you from a great height. There's not much we can say about this that's going to be revolutionary new information, but I fucking hate it so much I just wanted to go over the same shit about it anyway. So the first thing I'm going to say, I'm just going to pop in here and turn the sound of this piece of shit off, but let's look at this guy. Let's look at this guy. So all I'm going to say about this guy is he's a perfect example of a weak leftist. You know, we always talk about the left. They are the weak who are worried about being left behind, and so they gang together under what's called herd morality. They choose a quantity over quality strategy and band together in numbers to overwhelm the higher quality people. And as far as a man goes, this guy is extremely low quality. He's let me put it this way, he looks like he's got less testosterone than my cat. And I will just say that the only type of protest that he's going to be involved in is a make-believe play school one like this, because he looks like a weak, frail piece of shit. But the more poignant point, and like I said, sorry, you're gonna have to excuse my slurring. This whiskey's going down a treat. But this is public money. Public money directed into propaganda to laugh at, ridicule and shame the small business owners who have to pay the taxes for their own humiliation. And if there was a reminder that we live in a post-rule of law society, we live in a post-moral society, and that it's all really just degraded into different factions and survival of different groups of genes, this is it. If you really think about it, this is it. The government is oppressing people, and they are funding weak, anemic, twig-like douchebags like this to laugh and poke fun at them at the same time. They're oppressing you and they are laughing at you. Now, the very first of my recent videos I did is the way they lie, and the essence of that is that they never address the point. And as usual, there are so many points that could be made. So many points that could be made in all this, and one point that I hope I highlighted well in the video before this, where I juxtaposed this with some small business owner testimonies, is that a lot of people are not opposed to measures to protect against the coronavirus and things like that, but the problem is that there has been this complete abandonment of small business owners. You know, a lot of people in society are made off like bandits. They've still got full-time jobs, they've still got full-time subsidized government jobs. They're sitting at home making $150 to $2,100 a year, and a lot more in a lot of cases, doing half their workload in their pajamas. And there are small business owners, and I know because I'm one of them, who has dealt with stagnating money. You know, I've got a very successful small business. I'm very, very successful at what I do. I'm very happy with what I do. But the last 18 months has been a real struggle, and the single reason for that is because lockdowns and restrictions and measures have hamstrung my business, and the only assistance from the government is just piecemeal. It's just scraps. So yeah, it doesn't feel very good to get laughed at by some piece of shit like this who's comfortably wedged himself up the asshole of the establishment. But once again, you know, the argument could be made, okay, do what you would like to do about the coronavirus, but subsidize. Why don't you go and get all the bureaucrat income and the people, why don't you go get the money from the people who want to prioritize their safety over freedom, and take money from them and give it to the small business owners and the people who are suffering, and pay them to stay home. Not pay them scraps, but pay them, reimburse them for cancelled work. Reimburse them for the exact amounts of money that they've had cancel. And you could easily debate that point, but when you're dealing with psychopathic pieces of shit like this on the screen, let's get his cheeky little smile up here. Oh yeah, there you go, you've got a nice solid job, don't you, Skinny McGee? But when you're dealing with people like this, they never address the point. They never address the point. You know, a mate of mine used the analogy, which is brilliant. If I eat every type of meat, bar one, am I a vegetarian? No, no, I'm not. No. But in the same vein, if you have never been opposed to vaccines in your life, but with this current one, if you say, well, I would like to hold off, and seems like everything's in a bit of a rush and people are in a bit of a frenzy, so I'm not keen to jump at the front of the line of this brand new one, they'll call you an anti-vax. And that's because they never argue the point. Why do you never argue the point? You never argue the point because you don't have a point, because you can't argue your point, because you're a weak, pathetic piece of shit, and all you want is power in numbers. You want to, like I said, cozy up the asshole of the government for safety, because you are genetically inferior. You are scared, weak, but you also are so scared and weak that you don't even have the constitution to confront that self-knowledge, to acknowledge what you're doing. And so what you have to do is ridicule the people whose actions or existence might point that out. So, as I showed in my last video, small business owners saying, you know, it's been a year, 18 months, it'll be 2 years before we know it. I've no money, I've got a a young family, and we've run out of savings. I've got a mortgage, we've run out of savings. He will never want to address that point, because he can't, because there is no addressing that point. He's just going to cozy up to the power structure and enjoy his privilege, whilst lecturing other people on privilege, probably on every other day, and laugh at you. One thing that was actually very interesting here, very telling, I think. Let's go here, where are we going? Is he says here, okay, we've got here, ooh, I've spelt science wrong. How do I spell science? I can't remember. Which is it? Oh no, it's me before everyone. So the people who have a problem, or might march, or might speak up, or make their voices heard in the current climate, they're stupid. I don't know how to spell science. How do I spell science? Because I'm just a dumb right-wing troglodyte. Ah, it's me before everyone, and you're selfish. You're dumb and you're selfish, and you're also childlike. Guess who I'm being today? Because we're all just playground playing. I've got my cranky shirt. Grr, I'm so cranky. So what he's doing here, and this, once again, like everything, it's one of these things you can't unsee it. The left and their feminine cognition, their empathetic brains, they're not so much with the logic or with the direct argument or the honorable direct confrontation, because to address somebody's argument, really, it's a direct confrontation. But we know with the cogfems, with the feminine brained people, as you know, often with women, but you know, with a lot of, you know, probably 70% of women and about 50% of men these days, unfortunately, they're choosing the indirect conflict. Indirect. And so to indirectly war against you by undermining, he won't go the direct route of addressing what you say and hashing that out, because there is honor in that. And if you correctly address and understand what someone is saying, and you imply that you're an honorable person who is willing to discuss or debate on equal terms, it carries with it an implication that may the best argument win. These people don't work like that. They don't have honor at all. They have no honor. They have no shame. And so what he's actually doing here is talking to his audience. He is attacking the status of the people he's criticizing. He's saying, you are like a child, you are dumb, you're ineffective, you are having a tantrum. He's calling you childlike. He is attempting to attack your social status in the minds of the people who this is aimed at. And once again, that's what the left always does, is they attack your status. They don't attack your arguments, they attack your status. They undermine, they indirectly challenge you. They never attack you honorably and directly. These people cannot be reasoned with. Ultimately, they need to be controlled. They would call it oppressed, but ultimately they need to be limited. If you demonstrate that you are unable to logically discuss or to honorably discuss or debate, then you are demonstrating yourself unfit for debate. And so what do you do with someone who cannot be reasoned with? What do you do with an animal that can't be reasoned with? Well, you have to place limits on them. It doesn't mean you don't love them, or you have to mistreat them, but you need to limit them. If you want an ascendant, eugenic, first world civilization, people like this piece of shit here need to be limited. They need to have their strategy controlled in the exact same way that we have every law under the sun to limit and control male dysfunction, male violence and dysfunction. But this cog-fem, feminine-minded undermining, attacking of status, it is, we're drowning in it. It is everywhere. We are drowning in it, and it sadly is hugely effective. Hugely effective. But what I was going to say here, which is very interesting, we need something that'll really scare the government. Hang on, and I'll go get my sign that says the next election, and he's got his little shit-eating grin here as well. He's going, oh. So what he's doing, he's poking fun. He's poking fun at protesters who are saying, well, we'll vote you out in the next election. And his face in that screenshot there is basically saying, bring it on. And I'm not really sure about what he intended here actually, but I think the implication is you can vote all you like, buddy, but it's not going to make any difference. Does he know something that we don't know? If this was, in America, I'd 100% think I know what he's talking about, but probably suffering the same electoral cancer here in Australia as well. But there's not much we can take away from this that we haven't already spoken about extensively, but that's okay. We need to talk about it over and over again, because this feminine herd morality, attacking of status, shaming, undermining, this is the issue of the age. This is the erupting volcano that's coming down on our civilization and on our genes. And so, yeah, look, sorry but not sorry, because I think we can't really talk about it enough. I just the guy's face in that frame, just the ultimate beta, weakling, shit-eating grin, smug superiority and self-satisfaction. The thing that does break my heart is you know, when I was a kid, I used to read tales about Greek mythology, and I loved these. I had these books that went all through the Greek mythology and all through the British mythology. King Arthur, I think I read the Lord of the Rings when I was about 9. Loved it. And I used to play games about heroism, and God, like, you know, even as a lockdown indulgence in my mid-30s, you know, last year I played through Doom Eternal, and just the heroism, the honor, it really speaks to me. You know, a strong people, you know, I'll say man, and often it will be, but in a lot of ways too, you know, strong women. There have been a lot of women at these protests as well, and that's the funny thing you see here in this guy's clip. Is he's saying, where is he talking about his marching song? He's got a march, hurrah, hurrah. Where is it? Not declare the next election. And he's, anyway, there's something that he says in here about, you know, it's angry men, and the left is always trying to rile up their female herd morality by painting men as a problem. And it is a bit of a shame how many, well, not, it's not really unexpected, but it is still a shame these days how many women are happy to instantly jump on a men are the bad guy bandwagon. But in any case, the point I was going to make is there's actually a lot of women coming out, honorable women these days as well, speaking out. And so the thing that really speaks to me is honor, courage, and heroism. You know, virtues that I just think are so alien to our culture. You know, this is who is getting paid to paint the culture. This weakling piece of shit. This guy. You know, but I miss genuine, heartfelt honor and heroism. But they never fight like that. They always undermine and race. You know, this guy here, he would not be doing that if he didn't have the power of the state behind him. He's nothing. He's just a parrot. He's just a parrot, a well-paid parrot, a little propaganda muppet. So I don't mind talking about this again because, you know, we've lost honor and integrity and heroism. There's nothing heroic about what's happening in the West. We clap dysfunctional teenagers who want to change their, you know, quote, change their gender and chop their genitals off. Like, that's not heroism. It's not. You're not heroic when you jump on the bandwagon of the popular morality and get everyone clapping for you. There's nothing heroic about that at all. Anyway, like I said, there's nothing new to take away from this, but I absolutely hate this. I detest it. It disgusts me. And so, and I also don't mind just repeating like a broken record, undermining. The weak band together using a strategy of quantity over quality. This guy's not quality. He's not strong. He's not even funny. He's probably not very intelligent. He's probably never set a foot wrong in his life to stand up for something that he believes is right, but might run counter to the herd. No, he's a compliant muppet. That's all he is, just dancing along, having his strings pulled, making him dance along to the popular tune. That's all he's doing, and he's getting his status, and people are clapping him for that, and he's getting his pay, while people who take risk are out there struggling. You know, another thing that everybody knows, but has just really come into force the last couple of decades, is that all these industries that hang off the government, whether you actually have a non-government business, or your business is subsidized or shielded in some way by the government, It's all created a refuge from meritocracy, a refuge from needing to compete, from needing to adapt. So it's created a refuge for the weak and the stupid and the scared. So what do you expect to come out of this power structure, this refuge for losers? Well, what you see on your screen is exactly the product that you get. So anyway, fuck this guy. But just realize they never address the point. They never honorably debate or fight you directly, ever. They're always the Iago whispering in people's ear and ready to stab you in the back because they're weak. Because the genes for being weak, stupid and pathetic want to reproduce just as much as the genes for being strong, honorable and heroic. So never let them win in your mind. Never let them get to you. I just laugh at it. I laughed at it. I mean, it angered me because I know exactly what he's doing. It angered me not because of this guy. It angered me that just the audacity of using public money to laugh at the people that the government is oppressing. But I also don't let it get to me too much because I actually don't expect any different. It is what it is, and the good will prevail. I actually welcome this grindstone for our characters and for our souls, because this is a brilliant chance for all us bros out there to practice our stoicism, to stay fast to our principles. You know, we're going to enter, I believe, in the very near future, within the next 12 months, a lot of situations of alternate economy. The trick will be to get these retards to leave us alone when we do separate and segregate. But I welcome the segregation. I absolutely welcome it, because I do not want to share a civilization with these people. So yeah, I welcome it, and it is an interesting time to be alive. It is fantastical, and people are waking up all the time, and it's amazing to see how many people are reaching out, you know, with huge what the fuck moments. So yeah, I do appreciate these times to sharpen our resolve and to strengthen our principles and our hearts. But still, where is he? Where's that shit? Oh, look at you, you little weakling, shit-eating douchebag. Where are you again? Look at those forearms. Oh, it's atrocious. It'd be like someone throwing a toothpick at you. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, here we go. ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Anyway, so here's to strengthening our principles, strengthening our resolve. Here's to heroism and honor, and here's to whatever's coming to piece of shits like this.